No.
But things are running smoothly and we're very happy. Big advantages that you have is that it has all the components that you need.
Hello everyone. Today we are having an interesting conversation with our esteemed customer from Switzerland, InterHyve. In this conversation, we'll get to know more about InterHyve and their experience with Odoo and Aktiv. So let's welcome the co-founder of InterHyve, Fabrice.
Hello, nice to talk to you in this podcast.
So welcome to the podcast, Fabrice, and I'm really glad to have you here. I'm more happier that we have successfully implemented Odoo at InterHyve. I hope you feel the same.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now that Odoo is live at InterHyve, so let's do a little review, like what went great, then what tested our patience basically, how Aktiv helped in navigating the twists and turns of this implementation.
Absolutely.
So before moving ahead, or maybe deep dive into the whys and hows of this implementation, can you give us an overview what InterHyve does?
Okay, InterHyve is an MSP, so a managed service provider that was born about 25 years ago in Switzerland, Geneva.
Right.
And basically we've now grown to a size of around 35, 40 people.
Okay.
And we service a lot of NGOs, multinationals, and organizations that have a wide worldwide coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that through a number of offices, the headquarters being based in Geneva.
Yeah.
Then we have an office in Ahmedabad in India.
Okay.
And then we have our CTO who's based in Australia and one more person who's based either in Kenya, Congo, or Italy. So that's in a nutshell what we do. We also do a lot of security services and I would say do a lot of different things working with IT basically.
Yeah, that's
IT.
really great to know. And while talking about the services that you provide, so what are the tools that you were using before Odoo?
That's a good question. There's a lot of tools that were worked with before we used Odoo. Just before, for the help desk, we were using a product called the Creatio, which is based on databases as well. We used for accounting another product known in Switzerland, probably not worldwide, but very local. It's called Bexio.
Okay.
And it's also an online product. And we use some Excel, we use different products and Power Automate to pass from one to another.
Okay, so now since we are talking about the tools, so would you like to mention any challenges that you face or any pain points that while you were using those tools, you or your team faces?
Yeah, so the main pain points that we had was the invoicing in relative to the timesheets. So basically to invoice with our old system, it took my team between 3 to 5 days, man hours in the admin team to be able to invoice what's taking us maybe half a day to do today.
Right.
So that's a huge improvement. There's also all the HR component of Odoo that helps us track the holidays or the contracts and the salaries, all those things that before were dispersed into different programs.
Right. You came to the point where you have decided that you want to go for an all-in-one ERP. So what do you think is the right time to move to one single platform? Like I'll tell you why I'm asking this question is that I have seen the pattern in many businesses where they are using multiple softwares, multiple solutions. But what do you think is the right time for any business in any industry that they should be moving to an all-in-one ERP?
So basically, my concept of IT and these kinds of tools is to keep things simple. So as long as they're simple for you, keep them. I used to invoice with an Excel file when I started off. I think an ERP would have been way too big and way too cumbersome for me to use at the beginning. But as soon as you start coming up to, I would say, even 5 people, 10 people, it's worthwhile giving it a look. the interdependencies within the ERP makes it very simple for us to do a lot of things and extract a lot of knowledge that we can't have when we have different systems which are dispersed.
Right. So basically, and what do you think is the right time? Like, as you said, like you have to then analyze and see things. So, I mean, since you have decided to go to Odoo, of course, but what made you think that I should now move to?
I mean, there's a number of effects. I looked at Odoo, to tell you the truth, maybe 10 years ago. We had bought a company within Switzerland that was taking care of Odoo. The experience was interesting, but Odoo as a product for me wasn't ready. Now Odoo is a completely new product. It's evolved to a stage where it makes it very easy, very transparent, and easy. I think easy to apply on all levels. The UI, I mean, there's a lot of work put around the UI, which makes it perfect for most people to use and integrate. Which wasn't the case before. It was a lot more cumbersome. And one big improvement that Odoo made for me is Odoo SH, which is the hosted platform that they maintain for you, so that even us as an IT company don't need to worry about systems going up or down. They're constantly up. We haven't had one downtime since we've started.
Oh, that's great. This is my favorite question. Like, what made Aktiv a right partner for this Odoo implementation?
Well, to tell the truth, there's a number of factors that made Aktiv the right partner to work with. First is obviously I have a lot of affinity with Ahmedabad in the fact that we have a team here. We met Aktiv through being here, and I must say, I think my initial call with Hardik was very special. He was able to reassure me, and he advised me very well in the two different ways there was in this approach to adopt an ERP. And he told me basically, I think you're a cowboy, go ahead with the ongoing approach, and that's what we did, and I'm actually very happy about it. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be with the ERP today. I mean, there's no question. So that, and then we met a very special person on the other side that was assisting us in the implementation itself. She has a lot of patience. She's sitting right across from me today, and Pooja has been, I mean, of great help and knowledge, and all the returns I've had from all my colleagues who's worked with you is only positive. So I haven't heard anyone say, oh, Pooja's fault. Or everyone says that you're very knowledgeable about the product, and it makes a whole difference. I believe greatly in human relations, and as long as you want to make the difference, it makes it. I mean, it works. And I've never had any pushback from Aktiv. Aktiv has always been there as soon as we've had a question. Of course, we've had challenges, but as long as those challenges are addressed and you can feel that the intent is good, for me it works. And that's we've had like service till now.
Like we were talking about the challenges that, I mean, definitely, I mean, in any ERP implementation, people faces challenges, and that's how, you know, we help our customers, you know.
It's not only ERP, I can tell you in IT, we have the same problems.
Right. So were there any specific roadblock during this implementation where you think that you would like to mention, and in which Aktiv actually help you to overcome that?
Yeah, I think in the ERP world, from what I know, I mean, I'm not a very knowledgeable guy, but in this case, I think the biggest challenge is everything has to do with customization. So even though Aktiv is not a Swiss company, it was able to, guide us in the right ways to get the right customizations so that we're able to circum those challenges. And I think once a company has done it for one company, it can do it for multiple. And that's why I highly recommend anyone, at least in Switzerland, to come and talk to Aktiv if you're interested in having an ERP in Switzerland, for sure. I think that is the biggest challenge, because Odoo is a good product and can cater for, let's say, 95%. we've had that 5% customization that was necessary, and it's engraved in stone now. So, I mean, good luck to Aktiv
That's really great
in
to
the
hear.
future,
Thank you,
in the
yes.
future endeavors at least in Switzerland.
So let's go a little back, like when we started this Odoo implementation. So what were your expectations from this platform or from Odoo basically?
When I approach Aktiv, I think my biggest expectation is to simplify the work for my technicians, for my coworkers. So technicians, the admin team, and that's what's happening. So instead of having to do timesheets twice, they're only have to do the timesheets once. And in everything that has to do with admin, it's to the digitalization of the invoices, this automatic sending of the invoices to our customers, the bills we receive, everything is how do you say, is integrated now,
Right.
and it makes life easier for everyone. So we're no longer working on parallel systems, but on the same system.
Right. So talking about that, so how do you think your team is adapting to Odoo? Is there any feedback you get now from the team?
Oh, for sure. I mean, a lot of them have been saying that Odoo has been made a big change for them. They're very happy about how things are going. Of course, you always have the ones that are a little bit more reticent to others to change, but that's normal. But on the whole, they've seen the difference, and adoption is difficult when you make changes like this. And they've all been quite positive. I haven't gotten any negative feedback. I feel sometimes a little bit of frustration when something doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to at the time it's supposed to. But those are all things that I could foresee when I did the change, when we decided to make the change. It's to tell you the truth, it's the smoothest migration we've had till now, at least
So
internally.
glad to hear this.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's been a real pleasure. And I know that a lot of the team, when they have meetings with you, are more than happy to. When I say I can't join, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter, Fabrice. So they're happy to stay and talk with you for sure.
Oh, that's really great. Okay. So what are the top 3 challenges that you are aiming to solve with Odoo?
I think the first big challenge that I'm looking to solve is streamlining my business. So that means to have workflows that work correctly, that go in the right direction, and save the time of people and middlemen, which are no longer useful in today's world. That's the first one. The second one is having a better accounting software. Till today, the accounting we had was very limited. The reports were not what we're looking for. And I would say the third is a digitalization that we're looking forward to have. That it's in today's world, it's essential. We want to have the data present and accessible from anywhere.
Right.
And the only way to do that is with a product such as Odoo. I think the biggest changes that we see is that everything is in one place, therefore streamlining the way we work. A lot of my colleagues before would have to ask other colleagues, what's the situation on X or Y? And they were able to see that now because it's all in the same system. So we have to maintain a lot less systems, so that's a lot of work less. And then we have a lot more visibility. So I can see in a glance what the situation is like on the bank. I can see what money I'm supposed to expect. I have a lot more better forecasting now than I did before.
Right.
And that makes me sleep better at night because I know where I stand and what decisions I have to take. So basically it empowers me to make better decisions with my colleagues on what we need to do. Should we concentrate on the reminders? Should we talk to the customers about X or Y project?
Right.
Has our sales team covered the number of calls they had to make this month? All those things now I can see in one platform, and takes a lot less time to figure things out. So that's a big impact for us.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, we are at the stage where can we have a little rapid fire kind of a round where I'll say a word and you'll say first thing that come in your mind.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So can we start?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Odoo,
ERP,
InterHyve,
Aktiv.
Aktiv.
Yeah, for ERP for sure.
Okay, and ERP?
Odoo. I can do Odoo Aktiv, or the InterHyve Aktiv or Odoo. For me, they're all the same.
Interlinked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and consultant.
Puja.
Okay. So let's move forward to more in a direction of, I would like to know what is the roadmap moving forward. So let's say what next for InterHyve and Odoo? How we will going to leverage the system?
I think we still have a few projects to finalize and a few projects to move along. I want to go more in the direction of the documents and the signing.
Right.
A lot of workflow. I'm working a lot with many of my teams around automation.
Right.
So automation will be a big thing, I think, in the next few months to come with Aktiv's help, because we don't have enough knowledge there. And then in the medium run, I've been talking to our consultant to see if we should or should not, or wait to move to version 18, because we're on version 17. That's a question I still have. I've talked to a few people in Aktiv, and we're still debating if it's worthwhile or if we stay on version 17. In any case, as soon as it's completely stable, I think it's worth waiting a little while for the moment. But things are running smoothly and we're very happy.
Okay, that's what I want to hear actually. No, really, Aktiv will always be there through and through, helping you to streamline and to make processes more automated, definitely. So yes, we'll be always there.
No, our concern is in choosing Aktiv as well, is to make sure that we do have a partner that works with us throughout. InterHyve as an IT company has the same kind of mentality with its customers. We like to partner more than to just say, okay, just do this and then we'll see when we next connect.
Right.
I think it's very important, and we underestimate, like we would have a contract on a car, on a computer. It's the same thing with an ERP. You have to keep in touch, and the best people to do that are the ones who accompany you to get there. They know the system the best. There are some customizations, and we have to keep it moving and running, and we will run into some pitfalls, because there always are, and we need a partner that we can count on to help us on a daily basis.
Glad that
We have, even though we're in IT as well, we don't have the same job. We don't know ERP systems well, that we don't know how they run, and everything is so interlinked that a change here affects other things elsewhere, and that only a trusted partner can bring.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so here comes the last one basically. So what advice would you give to the companies considering Odoo in the similar domain or the similar industry? If you can count 5, that would be really great.
Ooh, 5. Okay. I think the biggest, for me, the biggest challenge is to find a partner you trust and you feel comfortable with. So that's a big one on the list. Another one is to kind of have an idea of where you want to go with the ERP, is to have not a very precise roadmap, but at least a good idea of what you want to do.
Right.
I think in our industry, the big advantages that you have is that it has all the components that you need to be able to run.
Right.
There are even components that you don't need, because, for example, we're not in industry. We don't need inventory and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the timesheets for me, which are essential. So it's not only essential for our business, but for lawyers, for pediatricians, for a lot of people, it's very useful. And that Odoo has, and we haven't found it so far so well integrated to our business, for our business. It's been hard to find. Now we have it, now we won't let it go.
Okay. That's really good to hear. So to wrap it up, can I ask that on the scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this Aktiv and InterHyve partnership?
I think an 11 would be quite fair. To tell you the truth, yes, an 11 is what we have. I think there's good energies in the collaboration that we have, and the results are there. So I can only recommend such an experience. And if you have the chance, come and visit Aktiv in Ahmedabad. It's always a pleasure. They receive you very well, and beautiful country, worth it, 100%.
Thank you, Fabrice, for being a part of this podcast.
Thank you, Pooja.
It has been an insightful conversation, and it's really fantastic to have you here. I hope you're going to get the masala chai and samosas with you from Geneva.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is Pooja signing off. I'm a consultant at Aktiv Software, where we make digitalization more human. Thank you.